All right, so welcome back to the Algorithm Speaks, your weekly kind of download of all things gaming. This week, the algorithm has brought us some pretty wild stuff, actually. Like
Awesome.
some really bizarre hardware. I mean, truly bizarre. And we're also going to take a peek into what's happening in Europe with virtual wallets.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we got to look at what people are saying,
Which, of course, gotta go.
the gamers themselves. So consider this your cheat sheet for the week. All the stuff you need to know without, having to spend hours scrolling through Reddit yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this first one, I gotta say, this stopped me dead in my scroll.
Okay.
Imagine, okay, you got a PlayStation 1 in your head, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine a crab.
All right.
Now put those two things together.
What?
I am not making this up. A Redditor you ginger off mods actually built a working P-Zone
No way.
inside a crab sculpture.
You're kidding.
I'm dead serious. They call it the Playstacean.
The PlayStation.
I know. And it's got like over 83,000 upvotes on Reddit.
So people were loving it.
I mean, the top comment is just, does it work?
That's the real question, right?
Right. Because you see this thing and you're like, no way that's real. But it does. The creator says it's fully functional.
Get out of here.
Even with the original PlayStation controller, which they even admit is like the worst controller ever.
Pretty bad.
But like, it just makes the whole thing even better, you know?
Yeah, I kind of love that.
This beautiful, bizarre creation, and you're stuck using that clunky controller.
That is so good.
It's just perfect.
I think the internet has this thing about crabs. You know?
What do you mean?
Like there's this whole joke about carcinization.
Carcinization.
Yeah, the idea that like everything eventually evolves into a crab.
Oh, right, right.
So naturally the comments are full of that stuff.
Like the giant enemy crab?
Of course, that's a classic.
And then there's this one comment I saw. It's like, this is why everything is being rewritten in Rust.
Wait, what does that even mean?
I don't even know. But it's Rust, the programming language.
Oh, right, okay.
Known for being kind of a crab, I guess. The internet makes leaps sometimes.
It really does. It's amazing, though. You get this one creative, weird thing.
Yeah.
And it just becomes this, like, focal point for everyone to share jokes and references.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Oh, and speaking of jokes and references, there's this one comment from a user called Uranus Annis.
Causes. I'm almost afraid to ask.
Brace yourself. Okay, so the comment is, even lice, followed by Scratch's crotch.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know what to say to that.
The internet is a wild place.
Unfiltered and unhinged.
I'm kind of impressed, honestly.
And then, you've got the regional humor coming in. Like, tons of people talking about Maryland.
Of course.
And Old Bay seasoning.
It's a crab thing. Gotta have Old Bay.
It's like the internet law. If you mention crab, Old Bay must follow.
It's true. It's interesting, though, how geographically specific humor can still find a place online.
It's like these little pockets of culture within this huge digital world. Oh, and there was this one comment that was cool. Someone recognized Euginger of Mods.
Oh, yeah.
From a previous project. Apparently they made a portable GameCube.
Wow, so they've got a history of this stuff.
Yeah, it's like a whole community built around this kind of creative hardware modding.
There's a real appreciation for the skill and dedication.
Right. It's not just like, oh, cool, crab PlayStation. It's like, wow, you actually put in the work to make this thing.
It's the ingenuity, the passion for taking these old technologies and breathing new life into them.
Exactly. It's awesome.
It is.
Okay, so moving on from crabs, let's talk about something a little less crustacean and a little more financial.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
So the European Union, they're stepping in with some new rules about in-game purchases.
Interesting. What kind of rules?
Well, they're basically cracking down on how games use virtual currencies.
Ah, I see.
Like, you know how sometimes it's all these weird made-up coins and gems?
Yeah.
And you kind of lose track of how much real money you're spending?
It can be pretty confusing.
Exactly. So the EU wants to make it more transparent. Like, when you're spending actual money, it should be clear.
That makes sense. Seems like a good move for consumers.
Yeah, the top comment I saw was average European consumer rights.
No.
W.
Pauses. I think I get it. Like a win for consumers.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the comments were talking about how these virtual currencies are really strategic.
Strategic how?
Like one comment broke it down. It's not just about hiding the prices.
Right.
It's also about getting you to pay up front.
Okay.
And then controlling how much you can buy at once.
Okay.
And then they always leave you with just a little bit of currency left over.
So annoying.
Right. So you're more tempted to buy more.
It's like those loyalty programs that never give you enough points.
Exactly. It's all psychology.
And kids are especially vulnerable to that.
Oh, totally. I saw some comments about that, like, $1 equals 100 game bucks or whatever.
Right. It's hard for kids to understand the real-world value.
For sure.
So it seems like a lot of people are happy about these new rules.
Yeah, definitely. But some people think it's just a half measure.
How so?
They pointed to games like Guild Wars 2 and Warframe,
Okay.
which have these more transparent systems. You can even trade in-game currency for a premium currency.
Interesting. So it's like a real economy.
Yeah, and they're saying the EU rules should go further.
I see. So it's a complex issue. There's no easy fix.
For sure.
Yeah.
And of course, the internet always brings the jokes.
Oh, I bet.
Someone said that in the US, they'll probably just make you link your bank account directly.
Pauses.
Yikes.
And then someone else was like, finally, I could just cuss them out about a $40 price tag.
Oh, that's amazing. No more mental math with the currency conversion.
Right. Just straight up, that's too damn expensive.
I love it. And it does make a difference psychologically, right?
Totally. Seeing $40 is way different than seeing like 4,000 Blinko coins or whatever.
It makes the cost feel real.
But then there was this one comment that got downvoted.
Oh no, what was it?
They were asking what this means for Fortnite's V-Bucks. I wonder if they just don't quite understand the new rules.
Maybe. Or maybe they're just really attached to V-Bucks.
It's like clinging to your old flip phone, even though smartphones are so much better.
Exactly. Change can be hard even when it's good for you.
That's very true.
All right, let's move on to something a little more action-packed. What do you know about Assassin's Creed Shadows?
I've heard some buzz. It's the latest installment, right?
Yeah, and it's already hit 2 million players.
2 million already?
Yeah, apparently that includes pre-orders and early access people.
Wow, that's a lot of interest.
Yeah, but the comments are a complete mess.
I can imagine. Lots of opinions flying around.
Oh, yeah. Some people are hyped, some people are skeptical.
As always with these big franchises.
One comment said it's the first big AC game in like 5 years.
Interesting. That sparked a whole debate about what makes an AC game big.
Right. Like, is it the size of the world, the amount of content, the story?
It's like arguing over whether a slice of pizza is a meal.
Exactly. And then you've got the nostalgia folks saying the series peaked with AC2 and Black Flag.
The good old days.
Yeah, and then you've got people just straight up calling it Ubisoft slop.
Harsh. Yeah. While others are defending it passionately.
The internet loves extremes.
No one in between.
So what else are people saying?
Well, there was a downvoted comment complaining about the Battle Pass.
Oh no, not the Battle Pass.
Yeah, in a single-player game, it's a controversial topic.
It's like putting a toll booth on a hiking trail.
Right. It just feels wrong to some people.
People want to feel like they're getting the full experience when they buy a single-player game.
Exactly. But then the real drama is about the historical accuracy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently there's a black samurai in the game.
And people are upset.
Some are saying it's not accurate, others are saying it's fine.
It's a tricky balance with historical games, right?
For sure.
You want to be inspired by history, but you also want to tell a good story.
And sometimes those things clash.
Definitely. And this one seems to be hitting a nerve. Oh, and speaking of history, one comment pointed out that Ezio and Da Vinci were best buds in AC2.
Pauses. Well, that's not exactly accurate.
Right. So they were saying the series has always played fast and loose with history.
It's like getting mad about the historical accuracy of a superhero movie.
Exactly. And then another comment was like, wait, I thought we were okay with burning monasteries to the ground in Valhalla.
That's a good one.
It's like, pick a lane, people.
Right. If burning down holy sites is fine, a black samurai shouldn't be a deal breaker.
But then there's this whole other thing with the Torii gates in the game.
Torii gates?
Yeah, those big red gates you see at shrines in Japan.
Oh, right?
Apparently the game actually tells you not to climb on them.
Because they're sacred.
Yeah, but of course the comments are full of people saying they're going to climb them immediately.
It's like a do not enter sign for gamers.
It's an invitation. They can't resist.
There's this rebellious spirit that comes out in video games.
Absolutely.
But not everyone's outraged though, right?
Oh no, some people who have played it are actually saying good things.
Oh, okay, like what?
They like the immersive mode, the story, and the world.
Interesting.
Apparently the world is still big, but not as massive as Odyssey and Valhalla.
So maybe they're trying to find a good balance.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That's good to hear.
And of course, there's always that one comment that sums it all up.
Lay it on me.
Gamers just want to be outraged.
It's so true, though. The internet loves to be mad.
But like their favorite hobby.
But we also have to acknowledge the influence of streamers.
Oh, yeah.
Like Asmongold. His negative coverage has definitely fueled some of the backlash.
It's crazy how much power these online personalities have.
It's a whole new media landscape.
It makes you wonder, though, why people aren't this passionate about new IPs.
You know what I mean? Like, there's all this outrage over Assassin's Creed.
But when a genuinely innovative new game comes out,
It doesn't get the same level of attention.
it's almost like people are more comfortable being mad about something familiar.
That's an interesting thought.
Maybe we just crave the drama.
Could be.
Oh, and to top it all off, there's the whole IGN review score debate.
Oh, what did they give it?
An 8 out of 10.
And people are losing their minds.
Of course. One downvoted comment was like, this review is invalid.
Classic. It's like everyone has their own personal review score in their head before the game even comes out.
It's true.
It's tough being a game reviewer these days.
No kidding. Well, I think that about covers it for this week's gaming news.
From crabified Playstations to European consumer rights and the never-ending Assassin's Creed saga.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. You know, that PlayStation really made me smile.
Me too.
Yeah.
So wonderfully weird.
It really captures the spirit of the gaming community.
The creativity, the humor, the willingness to just do something completely bonkers.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder what other crazy creations are out there.
Right. What's next? A Nintendo 64 and a pineapple.
Maybe a Sega Genesis and a sea urchin.
The possibilities are endless.
They are. And I'm excited to see what the algorithm brings us next week.
Me too. But before we go, we want to hear from you.
What stood out to you this week?
What are your thoughts on the EU's virtual currency crackdown?
Were you as baffled by your Uranus Honest comment as we were?
Head over to our deep dive discussion forum and let us know.
And speaking of deep dives,
Yeah,
that whole everything eventually becomes crab thing,
it really makes you think.
what will our gaming consoles evolve into in the distant future?
Will they all be scuttling sideways?
It's a strange and wonderful thought to leave you with.
It is. Until next time, may your frame rates be high and your loot boxes be bountiful.
Yeah.
And may your gaming future be gloriously crab-filled.